Well, hello folks, welcome back to the Custard Tennis Academy. Our three players are doing pretty well, although you can see Alexandros is a little bit annoyed that he's not quite where he expected to be. But it's early days and he's still got a lot of the season to go. We've seen victories, tournament victories, we have seen surprises, we've seen injuries as well. And we're only about a month and a half after we last left you. But the most exciting thing that's happened is that I've become Davis Cup captain for the UK men's team. So that's what we're going to do today. Right, folks, let's start off with having a little look at our three players. You can see here Curtis is continuing to have his mental attributes improving, already up to 60 on his focus. I've been trying to work on the physicals to get those up into double figures, but it's taking a little bit of a time to achieve that. His form isn't quite where it was meant to be. That's because he had a bit of an injury in one of the tournaments. So as soon as that injury happened, he withdrew from the tournament. But that did affect his form. We lost a little bit of that, and it took him a couple of weeks to get back to full fitness. So, yeah, that was not ideal. But you can see here he still sits inside that top 500, 382nd, doing incredibly well. Very, very happy, and you can see he's ready to go and looking very fit as well. Alexandros, I think he is also looking pretty strong, as you can see. I think you could say technically there are some areas where he is stronger than Curtis, but certainly not with the serve. But looking at the backhand, that's an area where he's a bit better, and physically I think a little bit better as well. But yeah, some way to go. He sits 59th in the junior rankings. Work to do. Our youngster from the academy who we brought through, this guy has really started well. He has got some tournament victories already and sits 212th in the junior rankings. Really, really good, and really happy with that. His potential's not particularly high, but he certainly feels like he is already starting to fulfill that. And you can see that here in the tournaments that he's played, and he's had quite a few since we started out. You saw this match in Arlon getting through to the quarterfinals, but he's won in Algiers, he's won in Warsaw, and got to a semi-final as well. So a really, really solid start to his career. Augustus, on the other hand, got to himself. He did win a tournament right at the start in Bromma, but he's not really made things up since then. That was in Junior 100. He got to a quarterfinals in the Junior 200 there, a final in a Junior 60 where he won that, and in the Australian Open getting knocked out in the first round. Not ideal. But he's really sort of struggling to make that step to the level that he needs to be at to get into that top 10. And that's what we said we would do with him this season. So I have a feeling we might struggle to get that. Curtis has been really good. He got that win in Hong Kong, and he's played pretty well since then. Just 3 tournaments, getting to the quarterfinals in Naples. You can see this is the one he had to pull out of, winning the first couple of matches in straight sets, but then having that injury, and then he pulled out. Wasn't fully fit here in Australia, but he got through to a semi-final, losing to Patrick Maloney. I think it was just a little bit too much for him. Eventually getting through that and getting the victory, and then he's just got through to the semi-final here against Nikita Blazevich in Trento, Italy. Some good victories in here, but as soon as he came up against someone of a reasonable ranking, 415th in the world, he lost. And it wasn't a bad loss, it was just one he couldn't quite get over the line with. So yeah, all 3 of those players feel like they've had some real positive things going on, but perhaps there's a place for all of them to improve. In the academy, these are the things that we're looking to try to achieve. You can see some of these we are already looking like we will. You can see we have a balance of over 100,000, and we need that at the end of the season. So we've just got to keep an eye on that when we're sort of sorting things out. And you can see here we have the current players at the academy. We'll do our best to keep them. They want us to recruit 1 more. we'll try, see what happens there, and we're going to hopefully reach level 3 of the sports centre and 3 of the business centre. This one's not going to be too bad, and we've already got something in place to get that one over the line. The business centre is going to take a little bit more work, so I'll just show you that. So this is where we are with the sports centre, and you can see we are currently putting in the second tier of the weight room. It wasn't particularly expensive. We get a bit of money back from that. We're at level 2.9, so that's going to get us at over level 3, which is fine. The business centre, we're also making some progress there. We've got a month left on the level 3 upgrade of the hotel, and we will then need to think about what next we put in. Remember, we need to keep this number over 100,000. Otherwise they'll get annoyed at us. But then how much is this going to give us, and what can we do then? So we might just have to save up a little bit, just with the idea that actually some of these might take a bit of time. Hopefully then we can use the money that we get from saving that up to maybe get one of these bigger upgrades, and maybe not just scrape past level 3, but maybe get it to maybe 3.2, 3.34, just to get us ready for having to do the next thing next season, which is undoubtedly what they'll make us do. So it's going really, really well. I'm happy with the way things are going at the minute for all of our players. Slight worry is Alexandros, and we just need to try and put that right. But today we are going to be playing in Davis Cup, and we've got a qualifying section of the Davis Cup, so we'll see whether we can get through that. I've already picked the team, which is kind of cool. You get to pick the team, you get to pick the venue. I picked indoor courts in London rather than grass courts in London. I felt that may suit us better. So there was also the option of clay up in Edinburgh, or I think there was a hard court in Nottingham. So there was I thought it was a nice little touch, that. Right, let's get into the Davis Cup week. Right, folks. So this is the team that we have got out here. We've picked Jack Draper, Cam Norrie, Henry Searle, Ben Gusick-Wan. He's one of the youngsters that we've kind of come through with. Jacob Fernley as the lowest ranked, or the number 5 there. And you can see here we've got the 11th and 21st ranked players, and then the rest are outside the top 100. So we've got to make the most of these good players, and then hopefully we can get some good play from there. It's always going to be a bit tricky because we need to make the most of these players, but without them losing fitness. So let's see what happens. We've got some points to distribute, 8 points to distribute here. Do something like that. We'll focus on those singles matches. Let's do that. I'm not sure about that. Let me know in the comments whether you think that's a good plan. We'll be focusing on physical recovery, and the reason for that is I want to utilise maybe one of these players in the doubles, and that will allow us then to use these two and then maybe one other there. So it's hopefully not going to be too detrimental for us. So let's validate that. So in the qualifiers, we are going to be playing Russia. Let's have a look at the Russian team. So this is a tricky one. We've got 8th, 42nd and 85th. This is not easy at all. We're going to have to be at our absolute best here to get through this. So we know who is going where. So I think we're going to play our 2 best players in the singles. I think that makes sense. And then we'll try and make the most of it outside of that. So we're going to play Cam Norrie against Andrei Rublev, and Jack Draper against Karanchov, who's 42nd in the world. So it might be that we lose this first one and then win the second one. And then we got to try and make the most with the doubles. So let's go with that. Right, so it's Cam Norrie here against Karanchov. That's going to be our first match here. So we don't have any information here on how this should look. So we're going to play this first match live, and then we'll kind of see how we do with the rest of the matches. So let's see how we get on here. Cam Norrie playing Karanchov. What we've done here is gone for the wide serve for both of them, trying to up that. So let's go and play this, see how we get on. Well, it's 1-1. It's 30-40 to Karanchov. He's gone along with that. So, oh, That's us down the bottom there. Not the best start here from Cam Norrie. He is maybe a break down here already, but he's potentially going to be 2 breaks down if he doesn't do something quickly here. Obviously, I haven't really got a game plan sort of set up for this guy, which isn't ideal. That's nicely done though. 30-40, well done. I'm trying to up his emotions there. I was hoping that this one was the one I was thinking we could win, but there we go. 4-1 down, not great. And he's got an advantage here of 5-1 up. Cam Norrie has been absolutely taken to the cleaners. Come on. That's a lovely shot. 6-1. That's not ideal. I mean, I feel a counter-attack feels like the better thing to do here, but yeah, I'm not sure. Right, we're going to try and go a little bit more attacking on our serve, see how that does. But right, love 40, 5-4 down. Unfortunately, Cam, much better set, but he's not done enough on the return of serve here at all. And there we go, 6-1, 6-4, a very, very comfortable victory for the Russian. So we put ourselves in a little bit of a problem at this stage, but what can we do? Rublev is next up. Jack Draper is going to be playing Rublev. You see, team chemistry is really high. So we've got, actually, it does change it to what is probably better for Jack Draper. So we don't get any sort of information about what we should do, but let's up the intensity on serve and return. Let's see how we do. So unfortunately, whilst Jack Draper put a really good performance in there, got a good few number of aces, he lost in straight sets, 6-4, 7-6. So it looks like we are out of this. Unfortunately, we've got to put our doubles team together. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see. Hopefully we can do something here. So we'll play Cam Norrie and Henry Searle together. They've actually got quite good affinity together, so I think that works well. Let's validate that. Let's see what we can come up with here. You can see again, we've got good team chemistry, particularly these two. I'm not going to change anything other than just up in the intensity there. I think that will be good. I don't think we need to focus on one or the other, but it would be nice if we got some. He's 112th. He's 85th, so I guess we could focus on him. Right, see how we do. Well, unfortunately, it was not to be, and lost that 6-1-7-5. I do not think the board or whoever controls this is going to be particularly happy with this showing in the World Cup qualifiers or the Davis Cup qualifiers, but I don't think there's anything more we've got to do here. I think we're well and truly out of it, and we won't be playing in the Davis Cup. It was a tough one to be involved in, though, in all honesty. It was a really difficult draw to have, and we need to be a bit better. So the final outcome was that Russia qualified from their group. Serbia went through. I mean, that would have been a nice one to play in. Belgium threw in theirs. Finland, Croatia, Austria, Canada, and Denmark. We were just not good enough at all, and not even close, really. We were didn't even get a set on the board. We were close a couple of times, but it just wasn't good enough. But it was a bit of fun to do that. We can actually see whether the Federation are satisfied with what we're doing. Currently, their satisfaction is at 50%, so that's fine. But yeah, it wasn't the best performance in the world. Anyway, folks, we played in the qualifiers. We lost to Russia and lost badly, but we've learned something, I think. Let me know what we've learned. Anyway, folks, I'll see you next time. We'll be coming back to follow how one of our brave trio are doing, and hopefully we continue to get Curtis, Alexandros and Lambert up the rankings from where they are at the minute. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.